Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I am standing outside a HUD listing that I lost for very annoying reasons. So I'm going to tell you why and how the REO business sometimes works, because this is not a surprise, not a rare occurrence. But I was given this listing, did a whole lot of work on it, had to do a lot of tasks on the weekends, spend some money, and then turns out they're not letting me list it. They're going to give it to somebody else, which should be interesting to see how they do that because it is listed right now. But I'll tell you how all that happened. Of course, check out investformore.com for more information on my flips, rentals, being an agent, all of that good stuff. But I used to be an REO HUD broker, 5 to 10 years ago. We were selling hundreds of houses a year for HUD and different asset management companies. And I stopped doing it for a number of reasons. One, because there stopped being as many foreclosures in Colorado, so there wasn't much work. And two, because it just became a bigger and bigger pain working with foreclosures and asset managers. You can make really good money, selling hundreds of houses a year, obviously, helps. But with a lot of the REO companies, your commissions are reduced greatly. They ask you to pay for a lot of the expenses, for repairs. Sometimes it can be a huge pain getting paid back for things you pay for on someone else's house. So obviously that's not a good situation. With HUD, it was often much better. You don't pay for all that. And their commissions are decent, so that's nice. But there can be some issues with getting assignments and different things. And that's what happened with this house. So I was given this HUD assignment. How that works is they send me an email, says, hey, new assignment, new property. They give me 24 hours to complete certain tasks. So I have to inspect the property, put a lockbox on it, do pictures, all within 24 hours. And with HUD, they have certain key codes they use. So I haven't listed a HUD home for a long time. So I did not have those key codes. And here, I'll turn the light on for you. I did not have those key codes, so I had to go have a key made per that key code. And so I went to Ace Hardware, they wouldn't make them. I had to go to 3 different locksmiths before I could finally get them to make a key for me. And they charged me $50 to make the keys, and I had to make a couple of them. So it was pricey to do that. And then I got in the house, did my pictures, all of that within 24 hours. Then I had to come through, do a BPO, which is a broker price opinion, do a report, it's like an appraisal within 48 hours, do some more tasks. So while all this was happening, I had to call the asset manager and say, hey, I haven't listed a HUD home in 4 years. And also, the company who I'm registered with you guys with, my old company before I started my brokerage, Blue Steel Real Estate, I am no longer with that company. So you assign this to me, but I am not with that company. So I said, do you want me to take this listing, or do you want to give it to somebody else because of these issues? One, me not listing a HUD property for so long, and two, because I'm no longer with the company you have it assigned to. And they said, nope, no problem. We want you to do it. Just add your new office into our database. You'll be fine. It'll all be taken care of. So I did that, went through all the tasks. A month later, had to talk to the appraiser. A lot of different things to go through. They give me the listing. So we listed the house, put it in the MLS. Again, you have like 24 hours to do all of those tasks, and made flyers, did brochures, put our sign up, did all of that. Had to get a new rider that says HUD Home Store on it, although I may or may not have printed out HUDHomestore.com and taped it to my rider instead. In retrospect, I'm really glad I did that and didn't just buy a rider. So we had hundreds and hundreds of those riders, but I got rid of them all because I never thought I'd list a HUD home again. So did all that, and then when they listed the HUD home on the HUD Home Store site, they had the wrong office on there. They had an office in Texas. I'm in Colorado. I'm like, that's weird. And they also didn't send me my listing agreement. I'm like, that's also weird. So I listed the house, even though I didn't have a listing agreement, which technically I should not do. However, HUD is the federal government, and in the past, we've had issues where the state has wanted us to have smoke alarms, CO detectors, things like that in HUD homes. And the federal government pretty much said, hey, you do what we say, You're the state, we're the feds, we have priority. So I went by what the feds said. I listed the property even though I didn't have a listing agreement. Kept asking them over and over and over again for the listing agreement and telling them, hey, the right pictures aren't on there, the wrong agent's on there. And their response was, oh yeah, we fixed the pictures, and just ignored me when I asked about the listing agreement. Finally, a few days later, they sent me the listing agreement, and it has my name on it. So I sign it, send it in, do my tasks all over again. Of course, they send me all these tasks on a Saturday night to do, and you have 24 hours to do them. And by the time you get them, there's already 4 hours gone. So you basically are working Sunday morning or Saturday night to do all of this. It doesn't matter if you have anything else planned. You do not delay when working with HUD. And so sent that all in, look at HUD's home store. Hey, the different agents now, the agent on there, but it's not me. It's the old office I was at. And so I emailed them, said, hey, what's going on? Got the listing agreement, but the wrong agent's on here. And they said, about that, we have to list it with the old broker. We can't list it with you. I'm like, okay, I emailed you, I talked to you, we're very clear about this before. Why is that now the situation? And they said, oh, that's just how we have to do it. That's how it is. I'm like, well, why did you tell me that before? Like, oh, someone gave you the wrong information. I'm like, okay. Well, I did a whole lot of work, did a whole lot of time spent on this, spent money on this for our HUD writer, which I may or may not have made myself, keys and different things. And like, yeah, you can try registering with our site with your new office, but you're gonna need to contact your old broker, tell him to take you off the account, and then you're gonna lose this asset, they'll be listing it, and thank you for your help. But they didn't really say thank you, that's just, they left that part off. So I said, okay. So was not real happy about that. And so we came here, took our sign down, took the lockbox off, took our keys, pulled the property off the MLS, and I am denouncing my HUD listing availability as of this moment. I did it before as well, so I used to list all those HUD homes before, but I could not buy them because as a HUD listing agent, nobody in my office could buy them. So when we stopped getting listings, I denounced my HUD listing availability, whatever, so I could then buy HUD homes again. We never did end up buying any, but I can't buy them if I'm a HUD listing agent. So now I'm denouncing it for a second time. So I will not be listing any more HUD homes. It was really fun and interesting to list this house again, go through the process again, kind of relive my past and almost a different life, right? When I was doing all that stuff compared to what I'm doing now. But I'm not sad. I'm not sad I lost this. It's disappointing and crazy to think how the company handled it. And it's Kronos Asset Management, if you're wondering. Very rude, not helpful at all. And your agents really have to act quick and very, do a lot of work, do a lot of training, do a lot of stuff for these. And some of the HUD companies I worked for in the past were amazing, awesome people like Home Telos. Matt Martin was really good when they were doing it, but some of the other ones have not been very good. So this will be the last HUD home I probably ever list, even though it's for only a couple days. It was a fun experience. I'm sure I'm burning bridges by doing this, and I don't care. It actually makes me feel a little bit better about doing this. But yeah, so that's the whole story. Basically, got the listing, said I probably shouldn't do this because of these situations. They said, no, go ahead, still do it. And then after doing all of the work, getting it listed, doing all the tasks that they needed done to turn into HUD to show they're doing their job, then they said, oh yeah, sorry, you can't actually list it. We're going to give it back to the other company who has no idea how to do a HUD. They've never done one. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all works out with them trying to get keys and list it and do all of that. So we'll see how it goes. But it's been a fun, interesting story. And I may or may not provide any updates to it. We'll see. And you'll probably be seeing this video a little while after all this happened because we actually have a backlog of videos now. I'm actually filming a little bit ahead of time. So we'll see. All right, so that's the HUD home. That's our story. Make sure you check out investormore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an REO agent too, if you're interested in that job, and advice on all kinds of different things. We also have 9 books on Amazon, so make sure you check those out too if you want more information, including on being an agent and succeeding in that world, which I used to do for many, many years. And of course, we appreciate the likes, comments, subscriptions, so keep those coming too. And we'll be back with many more videos soon. Bye, HUD Home. I'll probably never see you again.